Independent animation has had pretty good lately, with the popularity of shows like Anam and Sandy, Lackadaisy, Hell of a Boss, and even shows that managed to get picked up by a major streaming service like Hazbin Hotel and Being Puppy Cat. It proves that artists don't need to be lorded over by some giant media conglomerate to make it big. And one of the indie studios that have risen to fame is Glitch Productions. Founded by Kevin and Luke Ludwigall of Super Mario Glitchy 4, or SMG4 for short, Glitch centers around shows that are fun stories with dark mature themes within, appealing to a teenage demographic, which includes Meta Runner, Sunset Paradise, the upcoming Gaslight District, and the show some of you may have heard of but not a lot, The Amazing Digital Circus. Yes, the same people who brought you...
Luigi, please give me your fingers. That's so nice.
Are now bringing you... I know. However, one of the shows I blanked on is one I would like to talk about today, seeing as it ended its run not too long ago. The show in question, Murder Drones. Created by Liam Vickers, who is also known for Cliffside and Ernestian Cube, I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. The show takes place in the distant future on an exoplanet run by a company named J.C. Jensen Space, where worker drones have been invented to serve humans and mine the planet for resources while inhabiting it, until the humans accidentally wiped out all biological life, leaving the drones to fend for themselves and live like regular people. However, with J.C. Jensen against the idea of sentient robots roaming the planet, they sent out 3 disassembly drones, aka murder drones, to kill the remaining worker drones off. One of the survivors, Uzi Dorman, an angsty teenage worker drone still in high school, befriends 2 of the disassembly drones, N, who is the most friendly, and V, who is more sadistic. Uzi works with the 2 to learn about where they came from and what their purpose is, while also trying to stop more worker drones from being offed. Let me just start by saying that I adore the premise here. Like, this is a show that takes place during the post-apocalypse robot genocide with the teenage robot befriending 2 of the killers, and there's all of this mystery and fighting and themes of capitalism and religion and shit. Come on, don't tell me this doesn't sound like a gritty and intense show. And it is. Well, there is a sense of humor that doesn't always work.
Как они по-русски любят говорить. Ой, я должна была предположить, что кто-то сможет убежать через вентиляцию, используя выброшенное зеркало как ступеньки.
But for the most part, the tone is faintly dark for the setting it takes place in. And of course, this is helped by the animation. Now, since the show pumped out only 8 episodes in less than 3 years and Glitch has given the crew higher budgets, there is of course a noticeable upgrade in the way this was animated. At the beginning of the series, it just looked like a video game cutscene. Not a bad looking one, but still looks like a cutscene. Again, lower budget. Though already by episode 2 and throughout the series, they do improve on it with noticeable upgrades in the lighting, effects, and even the camera movements. Though there are a couple of qualities that have remained consistent. The first being the backgrounds. This is really where you can tell that this takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. The locations, even some that aren't meant to look post-apocalyptic, have this really unsettling vibe and atmosphere that makes this planet feel so cold and empty, despite the fact there are living and roaming robots. Okay, but look at this church. This is a setting in the show, need I remind you, and it's hauntingly gorgeous. It actually looks like a 3D model of a painting. God, I love it. The second, and what I believe to be my favorite aspect, the character animation. One detail I like is that while the models are almost entirely 3D, the only 2D thing about them is their eyes, since they're basically electronic panels on their faces, similar to Eve from WALL-E. The benefit is that it allows the drones to be much more expressive than if they were to have regular emotionless eyes, giving more life and making us feel more for the characters. The way the drones are designed make them easily lovable, for the most part, because, mostly with the disassembly drones, they can turn into scary cannibalist monsters, and one of them is just Jesus Christ! I also really love the way they move. They have a swift, fluid, and human-like energy to them, but they're at their best when it gets to the action scenes, and holy cow, they're amazing. If anything, they're one of the main highlights of the show. Even with the fast pace, there's a lot of noticeable attention to detail in every shot. I mean, it's not surprising since it'd be hard to get a piece of meat about finding robots wrong. Oh, I see. And speaking of which, there's what got me into the show in the first place, the characters. With my favorites being Uzi and N. Or Newsy. not the pharmacy in Iraq. It's no surprise that these two are my favorite considering they basically make up the whole show and even have the best dynamic. With Uzi's chaotic personality and self-righteousness and M being naive and empathetic, these two make a really entertaining and adorable duo. Plus, Elsie Lovelock and Michael Kovac give some fantastic voice performances. Not to say there aren't any others I liked. Jay and V are charming, with Jay being the only one to stay as an antagonist, Khan is pretty funny, Sin is a pretty badass final boss, and I do think Tessa is an interesting twist villain, you know, before she... Now, so far I've done nothing but sing the show's praises, and it's because I really do care about it. Heck, if I wanted to, I could give it a 10 out of 10, I just really love MD. But there's one big thing holding it back. Okay, it's obviously not a series-ruining issue since I don't think it's big enough to take away how much I like the show, but it is big enough that I need to address it. I already mentioned the sort of weak humor earlier, but that's only minor and I can easily brush it off. The one major problem I have with Murder Jones that prevents me from calling it perfect is the pacing. Let me remind you, this is an 8-episode long show. It's actually not the fault of Glitch at all since Liam Vickers chose to end the show after episode 8. As far as I'm aware, Glitch is very respectful to the creator's visions, and I'm glad they let Liam decide when to stop. With that said, however, this really could have been much longer. I would have preferred either extended time lengths, a couple of extra episodes, or even an extra season, because the show's plot feels way too complex for it to be just one small season long, and trying to cram everything into a single 8-episode arc not only ruins the pacing, but it also makes the story a little more difficult to follow since it's rushing through plotlines so much that it makes everything hard to comprehend and leaves some questions unanswered. And believe it or not, I'm not alone on this. It's actually a pretty common criticism of the show, even from its diehard fans. Again, it doesn't take away any enjoyment of MD, but it is a very noticeable flaw. However, while there won't likely be a season 2, Glitch has teased that this won't be the last we see of these characters, specifically Uzi and End, which is obvious considering how popular the show is. And as someone who really loves the show, I can't wait to see what they have planned. Murder Jones is not a perfect show due to some of its humor and short length that causes major pacing issues, but thanks to its engaging premise, amazing animation, and lovable characters, I did become attached to it, and I'm pretty satisfied with what we currently have, even if I wish it was longer. I can assure that you're definitely gonna get into this if you're a fan of Glitch's other shows, or just like cute robots. I can't really rank it compared to Glitch's other works since, well, this and Digital Circus are the only shows from them I've watched. Been meaning to get into Meta Runner for some time now though. But MD does make me excited for the studio's future, and I can't wait to see what other crazy ideas they have in mind. That isn't adding more lore to SMG4. Hey, it rhymes. As for the rating, it might as well be fair to give Murder Jones an 8 out of 10. Could have been better executed, but I'm happy with what we got, and I can't wait to see more of these characters in the future. I'm Miyachi, and this concludes my broadcast day. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hello? Oh hey, a cute little robot, how you- Hey guys, I'm fine. I just had a little boo-boo, that's all. Please don't ask.